Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 6 o'clock on Saturday the 30th of July. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. Grass is still looking very, very brown. Got a few bits to bring down from the car this morning, but as you would have seen on the intro video, we've actually got a little bit of rain. Been itching for this for ages. I got all excited and high-hoped when I looked out the window this morning. I thought, yep, we're going to get a downpour, but actually it's not huge. But I'm not complaining. Desperately need to fill those water tanks up, and desperately need to give these fruit trees that you can see looking all sad, desperately need to give those some water. So hopefully over the next couple of days, if this continues, we'll be all right. See, we've got a few bees hanging around outside. I'm surprised with the rain. They're congregating round the entrance to this hive. It would be nice to get inside these today, but I'm not sure I should be opening this up. Oh, I can see there's a little wasp there, look. You maybe can't see. There, look. A little wasp. I'll just do this off camera so nobody's gonna complain. Don't know whether they're trying to keep that out or whether they've got some other reason for hanging around there. Not quite sure. Anyway, I was going to harvest onions and potatoes today. I guess we'll see how we get on with this rain. Could always do it inside the polytunnel, I guess. Some massive onions there. I'm really keen to get into those and see how they are. The broccoli and the Swedes, I don't know. I think we're going to get some dubious results. Got an alarm on the camera last night. Something has been jumping up and down on it. I did spend a bit of time looking to see what it was, and I could hear the noise of something tap, 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 tapping on it. So I suspect a crow was sitting on top and just generally pecking away. Maybe you thought it was a huge egg. Right, let me get opened up, get inside, and we'll see what the day brings. Well, first things first, sort the chickens out. I've also popped a little bit of greenery in there. They're busy pecking away at the corn at the moment. They've spotted it, look. They've spotted the greenery. Well, grab the eggs, we get in the cabin. I'll grab the coffee and we'll have a quick chat. Well, good morning. It's the weekend again. Another busy week for me. Trying to keep up with the extra work I've been given at work. And the massive amount of extra work I've been given by moving house. Where are we with the house? We're in. Decorators coming on Monday to start work. So I've resisted the temptation to move everything in, just to have to move it out again so the decorator can paint the walls and the ceiling. Just focusing on the downstairs. Do not have the time to do the upstairs right now. I need to get stuff moved in. And the decorator doesn't have time either because he's on holiday shortly. It seems that everybody's on holiday, no matter what trade you're trying to find. Morning cockerel. They're all on holiday. Anyway, we're making progress, albeit slower than I would have liked. Main thing for the house really is internet, or lack of internet. I've been on and off the phone all week trying to chase the telecoms provider. And I'll touch on it in a second. But the internet's still not in and is not going to be in over the weekend for sure. So watch this space, I guess. I'll continue to try and do the best I can when it comes to video uploads, but it is really out of my hands. So what's going on in the big wide world? Hopefully wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you are staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. Just scribbled a few little notes here. There's so much stuff going on, and really some of the YouTube channels, I've actually stopped watching them now. Since the war in Ukraine started, it's just been this constant hype. I can't count the number of times that you've had thumbnails on the video. Move out now, war is here. Counting the days to World War III. Nuclear Armageddon coming now. It's just been absolutely crazy. And don't get me wrong, it's a serious subject. It truly is, especially if you happen to be in Ukraine right now. But the amount of hype, the media has kind of given up on it now. There's the odd little bit here and there, but clearly it didn't go the way that they thought it was going to go. So they've just kind of set it aside and focused on footballers' wives' court trials about stuff that one had put on Twitter about the other one. Or Will Smith back in the news again, apologising for the slap at the Oscars. Nonsense stories, just designed to distract everybody away from the really big issues, which we'll kind of touch on now. Weather's probably the one that's affecting me the most right now, particularly here on the land and at the cabin. We've actually had the driest recorded year for 100 years here in the UK, with again record-breaking temperatures in July. And God help us, despite the fact that we've had a tiny spot of rain this morning, which I'm very grateful for, we're set for another heat wave, allegedly, next week. But this drought is causing chaos all over the world. It's not just here. Massive impact on crops, so expect to see a knock-on effect in the food supply chain over the coming months. Wildfires. Wildfires in the UK, in Europe, in the US, everywhere it seems. And then, just to add insult to injury, I noticed yesterday there's a big story in the US, in Kentucky, where they've got huge flooding. It seems the weather's just not giving us a break this year. Energy crisis, cost of living crisis, everybody's feeling that. Lots of reports in the media about people travelling less, petrol and diesel sales have plummeted. Unsurprising given the record prices. People just can't afford to pay it. So people are travelling less, people are buying less. But a little bit more worrying, I guess, people are borrowing more as a mechanism for maintaining their lifestyle that they've become accustomed to. You know, God forbid you don't get your Uber Eats every night. You might have to cook for yourself. No, people are just borrowing more as a way of compensating for the prices rather than adjusting their behaviour and spending habits, which I would encourage everybody to do. Don't borrow to try and maintain the usual standard. You know, give up on some of those non-essential things, your kind of impulse buys or your treats. Just try and cut back on those a little bit and resist the temptation to borrow, because as we all know, interest rates just keep going up. US had another 0.75% hike in interest rates just this week. Undoubtedly Bank of England will follow suit, not quite the same degree, but we're already seeing the sharpest rises in interest rates for decades. So the cost of borrowing is going to go through the roof, and those of us with a mortgage, when your fixed rate deals come to an end, watch this space, because the interest rates on the mortgage are equally continuing to climb higher and higher. Lots of reports this week in particular about small companies going bust. They're not managing the cost of energy going through the roof, so their business costs increasing, and at the same time they're facing a reduction in people actually spending money with their business. It's a bit of a double whammy. And while some of the bigger companies can afford to ride through this, they've got, you know, large amounts of cash on reserve in the bank. Small businesses generally don't have that luxury. They do go week to week, month to month. So they're the first ones to fall. We saw it during COVID, when we had the lockdowns and people weren't allowed to go to the shops. It was the small businesses that got wiped out. And it's happening again now because of the energy prices and the cost of living, making people spend less in the shops. Talking about energy, reports in the media, lots of talk about the cost of energy, but not so much about the potential lack of availability towards the back end of this year. I did see an article, I don't know if I put it on the community tab or not. The UK, we should be self-sufficient in gas. We do have gas reserves out in the North Sea, but we're exporting that gas rather than using it here to either keep the country running or keep the prices down. So we're selling it on. I mean, business never want to miss a good crisis. They're using this cost of living crisis and moving their resources to where the biggest prices are. In terms of electricity generation, which is the one that bothers me the most, we import, bizarrely, about 12% per annum of our electric from mainland Europe. I think historically it's mainly come from France. Again, this is down to complete mismanagement. We've shut down coal-fired power stations on a save the planet excuse, which has meant there's been a shortfall in supply versus demand. So rather than building new nuclear or gas, whatever, power stations, we just imported. Oh, it'll be all right. Plenty of electric there. Clearly there wasn't, because this month we've had to ask Belgium, again on mainland Europe, to send us electricity. It's really bizarre. All of these crises, I've said it a million times now in the videos, all of these crises are of our own making. Apart from the sun, we can't control that. We can harness it, but we can't control it. They're all of our own making. Governments and corporations have created all of these crises, including the war in Ukraine, before somebody says everything's Putin's fault. We've done that. We, as in our political and corporate and elite leaders, have done this. With all of the chaos that's going on, you would think it would be a time to pull together, but clearly it isn't. The trade unions are back. They're seeing blood in the water and using the opportunity of these various crises to cause additional crises of their own. Over the last few weeks, actually probably about a month now, we've seen industrial trade union disputes, strikes, call them whatever you want to call them. Rail system in the UK has been in chaos now for weeks as train drivers, signalmen, ticket collectors, whatever. The train unions have gone on strike and shut down the transportation network on the railways. My internet, I was talking to somebody on Friday, Friday, why my internet hadn't been connected. All of the work has been done, getting the fibre to the house, getting the connection inside the house. It's all powered up, ready to go. It just needs somebody to flick a switch somewhere on the network. So I waited and waited, and then finally Friday I was losing patience, called them up, and guess what? Communication workers are on strike. And although the guy that was in the office, he said usually there's 130 people in that office, and there were 4 on Friday. So I feel for the people that were there, because they must be getting shit on the phones. They really must. So yeah, internet, I don't know what is going to happen with that and when I'm going to get it. Biggest container port, Felixstowe in the UK, they've announced a strike, so watch more disruption in the food and other essential imports, exports, supply chain. That's going to go, I nearly swore then, that's going to be disrupted as well. Last but not least, on this theme of sensing blood in the water, with the ongoing conflict, Russia and Ukraine, it seems that now UK, EU, US, Israel, they're all thinking that this might be a good time to really wind up other people that they've got a grudge with around the world. Israel has been desperately trying to bomb the shit out of Iran for quite some time now. This is not speculation, I know this, but I won't go into it as to how I know this. But yeah, they've been trying for years to bomb the shit out of Iran. And it looks more increasingly likely that the Americans might just turn a blind eye this time around. That would be catastrophic if they do that. The implications in the Middle East, I dread to think. And also, good old US, apologies to American cousins, I mean the government in the US, not you guys. They're seemingly desperate to wind up China as well right now. There's a huge debate as to whether or not the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, will go visit Taiwan and kind of just do that to the Chinese publicly. There was a call between President Biden and President of China, I can never pronounce his name, Xi Jinping, I think it is, where the Chinese said, look, you're really winding us up now. If you continue down this path, it's going to get messy. So yeah, just when you thought that our political leaders couldn't cock it up anymore, there's a distinct possibility that they might. So watch this space. In terms of what we're doing today, not a lot, in all honesty. I've sorted the chickens out. I've brought the bags of compost from the car. Just keep topping up. I noticed a bargain, 3 bags for £12. It's out of season, isn't it? So they're trying to get rid of it. So even though I have compost in the compost bins, I might just be tempted to pick some more up. I'm also going to top up on chicken feed. The farm supply guy said that stocks are looking a bit dubious. There's already been a fairly hefty price hike, and there's more to come, so I might just do that this week. I was going to harvest onions and potatoes. I might still do that. I'm just keeping an eye on this rain. It stops, starts, stops. I'm not sure. I might have a look. But there's all kinds of stuff I really need to do away from here. And I also need to top up. Even though I've got lots of long-term food storage, there are a few other items that I'm noticing are becoming in short supply around the supermarket shelves. So I might have a shopping weekend this weekend as well. Don't know where I'm going to put it though, because the garage at the new house is almost overflowing with stuff. Until you move, you don't realise how much stuff you've got, and you try and put it all in one place. It's like, wow, where did all this come from? But I'd rather be that way than have nothing. How are you guys doing? Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, hope you're staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. How's the weather impacting on you? Whether it's the wildfires, the floods, the droughts, the general trying to keep cool. How is things with you? How's your planting going on? I know a lot of people have put comments in previous videos and on the community tab. Kind of same experience as me. Pest problems, drought problems, general lack of stuff growing the way that it normally does. A bit like my carrots, I guess. Let me know and let everybody else know in the comment section. But more importantly, what are you doing to get ready? You might remember the video I put out. Are you getting ready for Christmas? I am. And I hope you are too. Because without wanting to be all doom and gloomy, this winter's going to be a tough one, guys and girls. It really is. So get yourselves ready and start now. And if you've already started, double up, get more. Anyway, I'm going to get cracked on. Watering to be done in the polytunnel of the garden room. Somebody asked for some cucumbers, so I'm going to pick a few of those, and then we'll see. If I do a harvest, you'll see it on the video. I'll catch up with you later. Well, I thought I'd take a chance and get this done now before the rain comes back again. Last whiskey barrel I did was poor results, to be fair, but I guess we'll see shortly how this one is. Not quite so full of ants, I don't think, as the last one. Is it full of potatoes? That's the real question. Dry in the bottom here. We've got some weird shaped ones, but we've got some. Very dry in the bottom. I mean, look at that. And I have been watering outside. Not today, obviously, but it's been raining. Well, I say it's been raining. It's been spitting. Don't get me wrong, I'm very, very grateful for whatever I can get, but it's not very good, that one. There's not a great deal of rain. Yeah, some of these are a bit poor. There are potatoes in here, for sure. Just not great quality. Well below my normal standards. I'll continue through this one. And I'll pull the other one up as well, and rather than you watching me endlessly digging through potato barrels, I'll kind of show you the finished result. There are definitely plenty in here. As I say, the quality is just not great. But whatever we get, I'll show you. In this one and in the other one behind me. Here they are, still coming. Right, let's move on to the next one before you get bored. Well, that's the two whiskey barrels empty, so all three of those now are ready for replanting. Well, they will be when I shuffle some soil around. I don't want to use all of the same soil, clearly. And that's what I've ended up with. First barrel, not that many potatoes, but thankfully wasn't full of ants. That one in the corner was full of ants. But I don't know, we've got about 2-3 kilos probably. So 5 or 6 pounds of potatoes. Not in the greatest condition, it's got to be said. Some of them are fairly clean. Others are looking a bit bedraggled, bit of skin scab. That one's a bit dried out, I think. So a bit of a mixed bag there. I'm tempted to just lift maybe a couple of those fabric buckets from the corner, the ones where the crows have been digging them out. I might do that actually before I look at the onions. That's what I got from the whiskey barrels. So we'll do a little comparison with these fabric buckets. I mean, this is the bloody crows digging potatoes out. Look at that. Nothing I can do about that. Similarly in this bucket over here, and that's freshly chewed. So let me get rid of these. Right, and let's see what we've got in here. rid of the foliage first. That's the original seed potato there. Very, very dry. It's actually, you don't even hear it on the plastic, but it's raining. Just spitting. God, these plants don't want to come out. Again, that's the original seed potato. I might be pulling these too early, you know. I thought these were well finished, but they're hanging in there. Didn't want to come out. Right, let's see what we've got. Very dry, look. I mean, I've been watering these. That's an old seed potato. You know, I've not been neglecting them. They've clearly not had as much water as they need because we've been having a bloody drought, but yeah, millions of babies in here. Look at that. Plenty of potatoes. Just small. Millions of them. And very clean as well, it has to be said. But this is just so dry. So dry. Look, it's like powder. And I've been watering, I promise you, I have been watering. Look at that. Loads and loads and loads of tiny ones. Yeah, it's a shame because they're really clean. Really clean. Look, I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner, does it? Anyway, let me dig around through this, and when we get to the end, I'll show you what I've got. Well, in the end, I decided just to lift that one fabric container, and I'll leave these for now. Clearly, I thought these were ready. Plus, of course, the crows were attacking them to death. So I thought I'd lift them, but having lifted that one, I've decided to leave the others. That's what I got from the 2 whiskey barrels, and that's what I got from one fabric container. And they're all small. A lot of them are too small, really. Let's put them in a salad, perhaps. But beautiful, clean, really clean potatoes, all of them. Beautifully clean. I think they'll be going in the pot for dinner tonight. And those can get peeled. So yeah, definite difference between the whiskey barrels and the fabric containers. I think the thing with the fabric containers is the ants can't come in through the bottom, whereas they can on the whiskey barrels. So yeah, it's all part of the learning curve, I guess. Put something else in the whiskey barrels and focus on the fabric containers for the potatoes. I've got millions still. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. of the older ones, plus 2 of the newer ones, and there's at least 4 inside the polytunnel. So yeah, still plenty of potatoes to come, but now I will be keen to put out some more ready for winter harvesting. So what to do? The weather doesn't know. I am tempted to lift onions, but it's which ones. Do I do these, the single bed, or do I go for the one that's mixed garlic and onion? I'm itching to see what the garlic's like, so I'll do that one, I think. Oh, let's take a little look and see what we've got going on. A lot of weeds. Something to put the weeds in. Let's take a little look. The raised bed's actually quite wet, but I have been really watering this as much as I possibly could during this bloody drought we've been having. I know you don't want to see me picking weeds, but yeah, in all honesty, these garlic don't look that great. They've died back, but I'm not seeing the bulbs. Let me just get a trowel and see if I can dig around a bit. Certainly not like they were last year. Oh, we have got them. There we go. The question is, where the hell are they? It's finding them. Yeah, they're a bit small, these. Don't necessarily know why that is. Bit disappointing. But I show you the good and the bad. I don't do the edit, and this is one I prepared earlier. Yeah, a bit disappointing this. Yeah, not what I was expecting, in all honesty. I did expect to see more than this. Lots of foliage during the growing period, and it's kind of lulled me into a false sense of security and expectation because there's not a lot really coming out of here. I'm assuming you can see that. that's about it. Yeah, it looks that way. This soil is really in good condition. So it's not the soil, for sure. Oh well, it is what it is. Yep, that's it. Bit disappointing, but it's good or bad. I'm going to show you what I've got. So we'll come back to that. Now the big prize are these onions. So let's take a little look. Fairly small, that one. That's a bruiser. Look at the size of these. I think I'll just take what I'm going to use. There's a small one at that far end, so we'll have that out. And I think I'll give these the chance to continue growing on. Just pulling a few more weeds while I'm in here. Yeah, there's some really nice big ones in here. Really nice. That one's fallen over, so we'll take that one out. And that one. And that one. May as well go right to the end. Yeah, I think we'll dry these out and leave the rest because they're looking good. Perhaps one more. Started so. And to be fair, these are smaller ones. That's kind of in between the planting. Tiny one there. Let's have that out. Right, I'll show you what we've got. Well, that's the empty space where the garlic used to be. And I've left in, there's quite a few in here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 still in there, and a whole bed to go in that one. Garlic, disappointing. That's what I've ended up with. I've got 10, 11, we can't really count one of them, so 10 bulbs. Given what was put in, there was probably about 15, 20 plants went in there. Disappointing what's come out. In fact, one of them, that's actually, well, it is a garlic. I was going to say it was an onion. Yeah, disappointing. Last year was much better. But hey, it is what it is, good or bad. The onions, however, different story. I've pulled these up. There's 11 in there. And if I just put my hand next to one of them, you can see how big they are. And these are the smaller ones out of the bed, to be fair. There's some much bigger ones still in there. I've kind of pulled out the ones that were crowded. So very pleased with those. Those will get hung up to dry. Garlic can go in to dry, and I need to go in to dry because we keep getting this little rain, and it's enough to wet you, but then it stops. Hopefully it'll do the garden a bit of good. While we're out here, see what's going on. Swedes, yeah, I'm not holding out much hope for those. They've really suffered in the weather. The broccoli, still no signs of florets. I got all giddy because I saw one forming. I think it was somewhere down this end. But it looks like the butterflies have been at them. Not expecting much of those. I think they'll just go for chicken feed. Sweet corn. We're starting to get flowers come in. How nice is that? Very nice. So hopefully we'll get a result with those. Polytunnel, what's going on in the polytunnel? I've just picked a cucumber earlier. Lots forming, but not many big ones. You can see all the flowers. Loads and loads and loads of flowers. That one, for some reason, has suffered more than the other from the temperatures. But funnily enough, that's the one I've been picking the cucumbers from. Go figure. I've also been picking loads of bloody slugs. I've still got these potato barrels in here. Still got the tomatoes. Flowers, but I don't see any. See, the flowers there have died back, but I don't see any fruit forming. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I would have thought by now I'd have some. But at the moment it just seems to be flowers. Flowers, flowers everywhere. Anyway, you can hear that rain, I'm guessing. It's not a downpour, but look at all these cucumber flowers. They are everywhere. This plant is going crazy. It's spreading like wildfire. Yeah, we have got a bit of rain and I'm really thankful for it, but it doesn't seem to be holding up. It just comes and goes. One thing I will show you while I'm out here, been talking about this drought, this woodland area. I mean, I don't know if you can see on the video or not, these trees, all the brown leaves. If you can see that or not. I mean, that's just drought. All the way down here you can see as well. Trees in various states of distress. Down here, even worse. I mean, look at that. It's almost as if they'd been on fire. They clearly haven't, but I mean, look. Really, really suffering around here. Crazy, crazy weather this year. Absolutely crazy. Chickens looking at me expectantly. What you got for me? Anyway, let me get self packed up because I've got so much stuff that I need to get done around the new house. It's amazing the amount of stuff and never enough time. That's the one that had all the ants in. Can you see them there? Millions of the bloody things. And these latest potatoes doing really well. Beautiful growth on those. I'll have to get some more planted out. Anyway, no chance of me looking at the bees today. It is just too wet. They'll not thank me for opening up the hive. Let's see tomorrow if we've got a decent bit of weather, if we can't get in there and take a little look at them. Well, that's it. Another short day, I'm afraid. Let's see what tomorrow brings. It's time, or lack of, I'm afraid. I am doing my best to try and keep up with something for you on YouTube. So please do bear with me. But yeah, it seems everything's conspiring at the moment to slow me down. Whether that's work or whether that's getting trades and services into the house. But fingers crossed, it is still progress, albeit slower than I would like, but it is still progress. And a little bit of progress today down on the land, doing a bit of harvesting, just checking to see how things are growing. Some good, some not so good, but it's all progress. Wherever you are, wherever you're doing, hope you're staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend, and we'll catch up with you in the next video.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, I welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Just feel free to leave them in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.